Weight loss versus fat loss. And I promise I'm going to stop getting shaky and I'm going to flip it around in a little bit. But I really want to get this picture like stuck in your brain and give it time for other people to come on. Okay, so between your skin and bones, there is muscle and there's fat. Obviously, there's other little things going on, like, you know, tendons, ligaments, and stuff like that. Oh, thank you, Linda and Vanessa. I'll try to cut it short so you guys can get to the podcast. Okay, so if you are, or if your client is pretty much over the age of 20 and they've done nothing about it before now, hey Marnie, then pretty much they've been steadily gaining one thing and losing another. And so sadly, what you're gaining is probably fat and what you're losing is muscle. And this happens naturally when you're not doing anything to prevent it, like lifting heavy and eating enough protein, some of the things that I discussed in a previous broadcast. So this happens almost naturally with age, but a big part of it is because of being sedentary and also of not using and engaging the muscles. So the reason why I go through this is because I know as trainers, a lot of times we're always trying to get our clients to lift, and maybe they just feel like, well, I don't really want muscle, and they just think that it's about being ripped. So maybe they feel like, as long as I'm getting skinny, what's the point? But what they need to understand is the bigger picture is the more times you repeat this weight loss process, the more muscle that you are losing and the more fat that you are gaining when you gain it back. So, hey Teresa! So yes, you're losing, especially when you're losing it fast. The faster you're losing it, the more likely you are experiencing muscle loss, which means that when you gain it back, you're gaining back more fat than necessary and you have less muscle. So you are, whereas maybe the first time you lost weight, you had, you know, a little bit of muscle on there, you lose some of the fat and you can actually see the muscle. The more times you yo-yo and the more fat layers that you have, then every time you gain more weight and you have to lose even more before you even get to any kind of resemblance of muscle. So you actually have to lose more weight each time because you have less muscle each time. So it's not even about just maintaining your actual weight, because even if you maintain your weight, if you haven't done anything to preserve that muscle, that like tone look that a lot of people are looking for, whereas you may have gotten at the first diet, you know, the second, third, fourth, fifth, you may get to the exact same weight and you'll notice that you don't look the same. You look a little bit softer, you're not toned, you know, the cardio isn't working like it used to. Whatever the case may be, you have to know that we don't actually even have to try to be this person. We don't really even have to try to gain fat. It happens naturally with yo-yo dieting, but you have to try to gain muscle. So when you get to this point where you've lost so much muscle, often what appears to be a fat problem, a too much fat problem, is actually a too little muscle problem.